Hey everyone, this is graphic designer Roberto Blake, and in today's YouTube video, I'm going to talk about how you deal with difficult design clients. So if you're just tuning into the YouTube channel for the first time, I usually do graphic design videos on Mondays and then sporadic graphic design videos throughout the week. So make sure you're subscribed so that you're getting updates for all of my new videos. So let's talk about difficult design clients. The first thing we have to do is identify what a difficult client is. I don't like the phrase bad client. I say difficult because it means that the client is presenting some kind of challenge that you may not feel prepared to meet in some kind of way. Ideally, by the end of this video, you'll have some tools and some advice to help you address the concerns of your more difficult clients and be able to maintain a good relationship with them, or recognize when you're in a situation when you just need to move on and where you're not going to have a good relationship, unfortunately, because you're dealing with someone who may not understand the nature of your work or value it, that you're not going to be able to explain things to or communicate well with. Some of the common issues that come up for graphic designers in terms of difficult clients are clients that want to renegotiate the price, clients that want infinite numbers of revisions on something, clients who can't make up their mind about anything, and clients who constantly challenge the work and don't know what they want and don't know how to communicate what they want at all in terms of the end goal and result that you're trying to reach in terms of the final brief and the final approved design. So I'm going to help you tackle these situations. Number one of the first things you can do to avoid getting into situations with difficult clients is not take on difficult clients in the first place. Usually, you can make a gut decision as to whether someone is going to be a difficult client or not. And there's no amount of money that is worth a certain level of frustration or feeling like your work isn't good enough or putting you in a situation to where it's going to damage your reputation in some way. No amount of money is really worth that. So instinctively, don't chase the money. Be willing to walk away and say no to clients that are beginning with what you think are going to be unreasonable demands, or being super vague, or that you just don't get a good feeling about. Your gut is usually right in those situations. Use your intuition, don't follow the money, and simply be prepared to walk away from what's not going to be a good relationship. The other thing you need to do is you need to realize that non-designers don't understand the graphic design process. Hell, there are a lot of designers who don't understand the graphic design process. I'll do a whole nother video on that and actually break down the graphic design process the same way I did for the logo design process. But what you need to do is, whatever your workflow is, whatever your established methods are, you might need to walk the client through that. You don't need to give them your secret sauce or anything that you think is proprietary, but you do need to walk them through the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, whatever your breakdown is of how you get from an idea that they have in their head to a finished project. You need to make that as clear as possible. As long as that's nebulous and vague and they don't know what to expect, then you're leaving yourself room for a lot of problems, and you're also creating anxiety for the client. You also don't have a definitive roadmap for knowing what you need to deliver and what you need to follow up if you're not doing that. So you need to go ahead and make sure that you have a consistent established workflow and process for the type of work you're doing, number one, just for yourself. And then two, you need to make your client aware of it instead of keeping them in the dark. You don't have to get technical or overly wordy with the explanations, but you need to let them know it's like, okay, well, this is the phase where I'm going to submit and sketch thumbnails for you, and you're going to pare these down and make a decision as to which one you like the best, and that's what I'm going to design. Once I get that from you, I'm going to take it into Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever, and once you say that that's good to go, I'm going to produce the final files you need. So there's going to be a list of files that I'm going to give you, and that's what you're going to take to use for print and web. See, that's a simple 3-step process that anybody can grasp and understand and say, oh, okay, I understand, 1, 2, 3. And that also helps you determine, well, are you going to do half up front, or are you going to do milestone payments? Is it going to be half up front, or are you going to do the milestone payments based on your actual process and phases for the deliverables? Always take some kind of deposit, because the other thing is clients can make decisions more easily, and they're more committed and they're more serious when they have skin in the game. If you try and do this spec work nonsense, if you try and do, they'll pull the, oh, I'll know it when I see it, oh, can you do another revision, Oh, I like it. Set the terms. Set the terms for the limited revisions. Get an upfront payment that's non-refundable in terms of the deposit, so you're compensated for the time you're putting in, not just on working on it, but also the time sucked in the conversations and the emails, because that's time that you're not marketing your business. That's time you're not working for your other paying clients. That's time you're not selling. That's money out of your pocket. So they need to compensate you from that. They need to have skin in the game, because it means they'll take you seriously, they'll take the work seriously, and they'll move things forward appropriately because they want to feel that they're getting their money's worth now that they've paid. They will act and respond appropriately, and they'll respect you more if they have an upfront commitment that they have to make on their part. If they have no skin in the game, they have no incentive to do anything but waste your time. The other thing is, even when a situation with a client is deteriorating, always maintain your professionalism. I know it can be difficult, but always maintain a calm and even tone. Always be pleasant. Always look for solutions and ask the questions that get to solutions. Don't let them focus on the problem. Let them focus on a solution. Use phrases and things like, it's like, what will it take for you to be satisfied with the project? Or what specifically are you unhappy with in the project? You got this and you got this. Is there something that I didn't explain correctly? Or it's like, what can I do to help you finish this out? Do things like that so that they understand that you're trying to deliver good work for them, because it's not useful for you to do anything that's mediocre. It's not useful for you to walk away from the project with a deposit. You're not wanting to do that. You want to continue a relationship with them. You want 10 more projects from them this year. You want to do business with them next year. You want them to recommend you to 10 of their colleagues, friends, or family members. So even if you have to actually even explain or tell them that, let them understand that you're not trying to walk away with the money, that you want the relationship, you want a finished project that goes in your portfolio, you want the kudos, you want the recommendation in LinkedIn, you want the testimonial for your website, you want this to be good work. If they understand that, and if you communicate that well, then the anxiety and the fear that you're, a fly-by-night person trying to make off with a deposit is going to go out the window for the most part, and they understand that the way you make money is not by doing one and dones. It's by building relationships. So you gotta make sure that you're communicating the value of the relationship, that you want to make this work for them, that you want this to succeed, and they'll act accordingly, at least in most cases. Sometimes you'll get one-off people who I don't know what their issue is that just can't be reasoned with. And in that case, you have to cut your losses. But if you've been doing things appropriately, at least you have a paper trail, you have potentially contracts or general agreements in place, you have the stipulated non-refundable deposit, you have the scope of work, you have all those things to back you up so that if it goes any further, you're covered. Now, sometimes in the upfront, and I've talked about this a little bit in the how much should you charge as a graphic designer, some clients, they won't even be clients yet, and you'll run into a problem, which is why I say you need to be prepared to walk away. Some people will try to tell you that what you're doing isn't worth a certain amount of money. Those people are not going to be your clients, because if you set your price as a vendor and as a business person, you've already accounted for your cost, you've already accounted for your margins. It's not for someone else to tell you what the value of your work is. What they're really saying, without wanting to say it in most cases, is that their budget doesn't allot for your price range and what you charge, which means that they love and want your caliber of work, but they're not able to or willing to pay for that at the rate that you're setting. And I hate to be that guy, but I'm not going to be able to walk into a Best Buy or Walmart and renegotiate prices for the products or services that I want. So I don't feel like I should be obligated to adhere to someone else's budgetary constraints. Now, if someone were to be honest with me and say, Roberto, I don't have that in my budget, what I have is X, is there any possible way that you can work with me on that? I will respect that more, and I'd be more willing to bend over backwards and say, okay, well, I can't give you this for that because that's not fair to my clients that pay that, but I want to work with you and I can give you this or I can give you that, or we have to find a way to make this less of a commitment of my time. Or what else can you put on the table? Can you do an extra trade for me because you have this value in your service and I can get this from you, or I can get a discount on your products, or I can do a trade for you on your service in lieu of a discount on mine, something like that. Or God forbid, can I get equity in the business, in which case I might be willing to waive a lot of my fees in order to get a stake in the business, and if it succeeds, I succeed. Yes, then that's a conversation I'd be willing to have. So it's by going through conversations, it's by being open, by putting your cards on the table, being open to working with people, but being firm in what you think you deserve, one, in terms of your overall treatment as an individual and as a person respectfully, and two, or not devaluing your work by budging on your prices. That's the things that are going to help you be successful and avoid dealing with difficult clients, and also put things in perspective for your clients so they're less inclined to be difficult and you can maintain a good relationship with them. Ultimately, this comes down to how you're communicating and presenting yourself, how you're handling your professionalism, being organized on top of things, and that's the big key here. Anyway, I hope this helped a lot of you in going forward dealing with potentially difficult clients and difficult situations. If you still have questions as to how to deal with or address difficult clients, go ahead and leave that stuff in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer you. If you have some more direct questions and you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can definitely do that. I'm at Roberto Blake on Twitter, so you can find me there. As always, I hope that this has been of some help to you. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other great design videos on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.